In this video, we're going to do some order of operations review from our basic skills review package, in case you had any trouble remembering how to do BEDMAS. So order of operations is the order that you need to do your calculations in when you're calculating something. And an easy way to remember it is using BEDMAS, or sometimes people use, especially if you came from French immersion, PEDMAS, where you do parentheses instead of brackets. But basically it says that when you're calculating something, you do whatever's in the brackets first, and then you deal with exponents. Division and multiplication are interchangeable. You work them from left to right, so whatever you come to first in the question. And then the last thing you do is your addition and subtraction, and once again, you work it left to right, so whatever comes first in the question is what you do first. So my first question here, we have 5 times 2 plus 3 minus 4 times negative 5. So brackets, I do have brackets, but in this case, there's nothing to do inside. All that's inside here is a 2, right? It's not a calculation. The brackets are really there just to show multiplication. So these brackets don't really count as brackets. I don't have any exponents, no division, but I do have multiplication. So I'm going to work it from left to right. So I'm going to do the 5 times 2 first. So 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3. Now, because I have a second set of multiplication and it's separate from the first one, I could actually multiply that out as well on this turn, or I could wait and do it on the next round. I think I'm actually going to do it here. So minus 4 times minus 5. You have choices. You could do 4 times negative 5, get negative 20, and then have minus 20. I find the double signs a little confusing, so I prefer to do minus 4 times minus 5. 2 negatives are going to make a positive, so it's going to be positive, and 4 times 5 is 20. And then we're down to just addition, so I'm just going to add these together. 10 plus 3 is 13, plus 20 is 33. All right, next question. It's a little trickier here. I have 5 plus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5 divided by 2 times negative 2. And hopefully this looks a little familiar. This is something you would see when you're doing the quadratic formula, except it's not plus or minus, but same idea. So if I'm doing this, I need to start somewhere. I look for brackets. I see lots of little brackets that are for multiplication. But this giant square root counts as a bracket, or an exponent, is up to you. But we're going to end up doing what's inside the square root first. So really for us, it counts like a big exponent. So inside that square root, I have a negative 3 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 5. So I've got an exponent, some subtraction, and a bunch of multiplication. So we're actually going to do the exponent first. So negative 3 squared. A negative times a negative is going to make a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. And then I have 4 times negative 2 times 5. Now, in the denominator, all I have is multiplication, so I'm okay with multiplying that out. So 2 times negative 2, that's an uneven number of negatives, so that's going to be negative 4. Okay, I'm going to tackle my multiplication here. So I have 9. Now we could do this in 2 steps. We could do negative 4 times negative 2, take that answer, times it by 5, or we could just do it all in one. So negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8, times 5 is positive 40. I'm going to add them together, and I get 49. Now if you can do that in less steps, you go for it. All right, so I have 5, I have negative 4, and I still have that square root of 49. A square root, we talked about with our exponent review, is a type of exponent. Roots are fractional exponents. So I'm going to do the square root of 49 before we do our addition or division. So the square root of 49 is 7. So I have 5 plus 7 over negative 4. Even though you don't see any brackets here, having the numerator, it's like having a big set of brackets around the numerator and a separate set of brackets around the denominator. So I'm going to add 5 and 7 together to get 12. And then I divide 12 by -4. So a positive and a negative, that's a mismatched pair. So that's going to be a negative answer. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my answer is -3. And that's order of operations.